Well, Margaret Brennan is following the latest from the White House and joins us now. Margaret, are lawmakers on Capitol Hill feeling the same urgency as the president, I wonder?
No, many are home in their districts and won't be back here in Washington until as late as tomorrow afternoon. So this is a shortened week, and the big push is to prevent the government from shutting down. So finding some sort of budget plan or at least some short-term funding to make sure that the federal government doesn't shutter its doors, at least partially, this Friday when the current funding mechanism runs out. So that's really an item number one on the agenda. What we know is that when it comes to health care, some of the language is still being worked on over in the Senate to make sure that whatever goes through the House won't be halted on the other side of the building. And we also know that because there's no text, there's no vote count yet. So they won't want to move through with any kind of bill without knowing that they can avoid the same sort of embarrassing failure that you had last time when House Republicans, president's own party, wouldn't get behind his health care overhaul plan and lead it through to passage.
Now, there are also a number of high-profile events that the president has to mark his 100 days in office. What's the message here he's trying to send other than it's going tremendously well and it's only going to get better?
Well, it's a jam-packed schedule. If you look even just at today, we know he's going to do a live interview with a NASA astronaut who will now be the longest American who has been in space the longest. He's got everything to sort of push forward the message that he's doing work on women's education, math and science, through a lot of effort to emphasize that diplomacy and pressure on North Korea is where he's focused. He's meeting with members of the UN Security Council today. We know that's going to be something you'll hear about a lot through the end of this week, that they are really pushing for progress with North Korea and that nuclear showdown. And of course, this weekend, he will cap it all off with his signature rally. While all of us are at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, President Trump will be out there talking to his supporters at a major rally in order to sort of highlight that he's the one who's working directly for the people. That's the message they're trying to underscore. That's something you're going to hear from him and his aides throughout this week, because he'll be doing a series of conversations with local press, and then of course capping it off with our own John Dickerson on Face the Nation.
You know, when it comes to a budget plan, there's been a lot of talk about the paying for the border wall, but what are the major obstacles between the Trump administration and Congress when it comes to developing a budget plan?
Well, first off, the request is to Congress to find a way for U.S. taxpayers to pay for the wall, not Mexico. So while the president has tried to spin that in a series of tweets as, well, this is a temporary solution until we find a way to get Mexico to pay us back for it, what we know is that there is a real argument there. The president says he can do this for about $10 billion or less. That's what he told the Associated Press just a few days ago. And for those in Congress, there's more of an argument over, can we earmark funds directly for a wall, or can we get away with just increasing funding for border security writ large, which would allow then, some of the people who are implementing the policy to use funds in perhaps different ways, ways that they may find more effective. So it's really going to come down to how insistent President Trump is that his wall specifically is named and allocated for in that increased funding for border security that they are asking Congress to come up with. They're also asking Congress to come up with more money for military spending as well.
Well, it's a week of many events. It remains to be seen if it is also a week of many legislative and governmental accomplishments. Margaret Brennan at the White House. Margaret, thank you.